Hey buds, Archaic and Aurelian here. Have you ever been sad? Have you come to terms with the fact that the reason for your sadness is solely due to you not playing MMOs anymore? All that fun you used to have with your friends, completing challenges, socializing, brutally killing each other with combos that under any other circumstance would place you in federal prison? And you see, you want to play MMOs again, but it's been so long that you don't know what's good anymore. If only there was a vested British man who could tell you this, preferably on a second monitor. Perhaps that British man could hold a novelty mug while he told you all that sweet MMO knowledge he was privy to. And maybe, and I might be pushing it here, that British man could look like a no-name brand version of Richard Madden and Henry Cavill put together. Well, hypothetical viewer, you're in luck, because that channel exists, and it's called Josh Strife Hayes.
Is it a sustainable business
if you're
model
going to
to die anyway?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Josh Hayes. This is the
Now the channel known as Josh Strife Hayes, or JSH, which coincidentally can also be pronounced as Josh, is run by the man known as Josh Strife Hayes, who is a British actor, teacher, podcaster, streamer, and certified gamer. While his main channel covers MMOs and features his most popular series, Worst MMO Ever, he has other channels which cover more broad topics, like his general gaming retrospective channel, Josh Strife Plays, which features his Was It Good series, and the clip channel, Josh Strife Says, which features professional Josh Enjoyer Visa. If you've watched YouTube videos for any amount of time, which of course you have, why else are you here listening to me, particularly of the video game variety, then you will have noticed the videos from at least one of these channels being recommended to you. Hell, if you've even looked in the direction of Diablo Immortal back in 2022 during its release and the less than stellar reception from the public, then you will have seen Josh's videos on the topic. I think this presence, which Josh's content has in the MMO sphere, is indicative of a particular attribute within Josh's videos, which he performs very well and has allowed them to be enjoyed by as many people as possible. That being, presentation. Take Josh's Worst MMO Ever videos for example. These videos are long video essays and reviews covering what in the wide world of MMOs is going on here in the world of MMOs past and present. Despite the name, Worst MMO Ever videos are not solely negative and function as reviews and critiques that any other YouTuber might make. Then why, you may ask, has Josh become so popular if his videos are not dissimilar to others and even focus on a genre of games which are no longer in the cultural limelight? I mean, his main channel has reached 871,000 views. That's like number 2 on the MMO YouTuber pyramid. It's no 313, but Josh will catch up to me eventually. Well, I would say that this popularity and the strength which Josh Strife Hayes has is the serious, professional, and simple manner in which he covers whatever MMO he happens to be playing. Now before you pick up those pitchforks, understand that while that may sound like I'm calling Josh boring, that is certainly not the case. Not only are Josh's videos not boring, far from it in fact, rather they are engaging dives into an MMO with commentaries on MMO game theory and how the target MMO succeeds or fails in its application of that. The serious and earnest approach allows this analysis to be displayed to the viewer clearer and thus be understood easier. This is enhanced by the simple and logical way in which Josh explains his critiques of the game, both good and bad. This is actually a very commendable effort by Josh and demonstrates a deep understanding of the genre. Too many YouTubers, in an attempt to make themselves appear more intelligent, play the game of pretentious word bingo in their video essays or reviews to try and persuade the audience to agree with them, as clearly they are intelligent, so their argument must be as well. However, the best way to make the audience understand your argument is to actually make the argument or explanation easy to understand. Insert Einstein quote here. Naturally, this approach is conducive to all markets and audiences, and thus is my explanation for why the Josh Strife Hayes channel has become so widely popular in the MMO space. While one's humor is subjective, an earnest analysis with easy to understand explanations is about as objective an appeal as one can get. Speaking of humor, despite what my previous statements may have implied, Josh Strife Hayes is not some robotically academic video game reviewer. Quite the opposite, in fact. His reviews and analyses feature a lighthearted tone and frequent witty remarks about the game, which allows these often long videos to remain engaging and not become too tedious.
I open every hotbar, you have 20 of them, and then discover the controller menu has something called FPS mode, so I try it and suddenly I'm wearing an Xbox 360 headset and telling the cleric how bad their mum is in bed.
In many ways, Josh Strife Hayes' humor feels very British, which makes sense, as he is very British. This approach works well for this kind of video as witty, sarcastic humor, in my opinion, appeals to a much broader audience and enhances the analysis of the video. If Josh instead made constant esoteric jokes which only a few would understand, then it could muddy the argument, something I am quite guilty of doing, I admit. In a world of jokers and comedic pseudo-reviewers, it is refreshing to watch a channel which takes its analysis of a game seriously and attempts to give critique in the way a professional would and not let the comedy overtake the analysis. And if professional YouTube MMO game analyzers were a thing, Josh Strife Hayes is about the closest one we got. He's even been invited by Jagex to game test the early build of a new skill in RuneScape. If that doesn't say professional MMO enjoyer, I don't know what does. And to potentially labor my point that Josh Strife Hayes is in fact funny, let's move on to my favorite part of YTIL, the out of context clips.
You know what? Everyone was really impressive that they're running Windows 11. They're like, ooh, I've gone from Windows 10 to Windows 11. You know what? Fuck you. I've got Windows 2000. Okay? I am so far ahead of you, you have no idea.
Listen, how else would you know it's a lady lizard? How would you know? You need the boobs.
New World is like the opposite of an MMO because it gets bad after 100 hours.
You are the one from my vision. Hang on. She did not say how far away we had to be. I fucking hate this game. Let me prepare. Okay. Oh my God! I'm going to say this word, and we're not going to laugh. We unfortunately have Saney's lupinus. I mean, do you want to know the biggest amazing thing, guys? You might not realize I've still got some falafel left. The falafel, it's falafel-y good. Get it? And he looked at me and said, Josh, buying Lynx Africa for a gay man actually counts as a hate crime. A hole has recently appeared in the fence surrounding a local nudist camp. But don't worry, the police are looking into it. No one knows. No one knows.
That was the YTIL episode on the justifiable Josh Strife Hayes. I hope you enjoyed watching this YouTuber review as much as I have enjoyed watching Josh's MMO videos. I've been watching him for a couple years now, and his videos have remained just as good as when I first discovered him. For the foreseeable future, Josh Strife Hayes will have a special place on my second monitor.